Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and you have just tuned into Saturday Stitching, where every day can feel like Saturday if your stitching is going well. Along with me today, yeah, that echo.
Is it
See, I
still
can't ever
echoing?
start. I can't ever start it right without messing up. No, I had the chat. Before I get into that,
Oh,
my daughter Maya is also here. Let me switch the screen so you can say hi to her.
hello.
Yes, I had the live chat up, and it doesn't let me mute the live chat till the video actually starts. So I
Oh,
always get caught off guard. I told myself I was going to ignore it, but I always get caught off guard when the video starts talking.
hmm.
So I muted it. And already we have Tracy in the chat room with us. Hello, Tracy. Nice to see
Hi,
you.
Tracy. I've tried to bring up the chat. I would have seen that if my iPad Generation 2 had not crashed.
Yeah, I think your iPad is older than the Generation 2, girl.
I thought you said I got this one from you, and I'm pretty sure it's an iPad 2, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. But either
You
way,
could
I brought out.
you could be right and I could be wrong. But anyway, let's get this show on the road. Okay. People don't want to hear us arguing about ancient tech.
At least
Okay.
not yet.
So this show is Saturday Stitching, where we talk about our yarny and crafty goodness. Um my daughter does things other than stitching, but we'll let her get away with that. So, and we both have Instagram accounts, which are linked in the show notes, or the diddly do, as my daughter likes to say.
The diddly do. That's what everyone says. The doobly
No,
do.
only you say it. But anyway,
Okay, come on.
but anyway. And what else was I going to say? But basically, we're just going to show off some stuff that we've worked on this week or not worked on this week or stuff that we thought about working on this week. And if you want to see better pictures of our stuff, or at least better pictures of my stuff, you can see it on Instagram because I know that my camera is shy. Okay, so who wants to start this week? Do you have a lot of stuff to show, Maya? Do you want to go first?
I have next to nothing to show, and I won't be able to check the chat at all because it keeps
Okay.
crashing YouTube on the iPad. So that's not happening.
Well, I've got it magnified giantly on my giantly. Is that a word?
I
I have
don't think it is.
I have it magnified on my other screen that I use for work because I use two monitors for work. So I have it magnified on my other screen for work. So I can read it okay if y'all can put up with me squinting and you seeing up my nose for a second.
All right. Eventually
So,
we'll figure this out. I don't have
so do you want to
really.
go first?
Yeah, I'll go first because I
Okay.
have like nothing.
Well, then I'll go ahead and switch the screen to you and let you have the floor while I'm weaving in these ends.
All
There you
right.
go. It's all yours.
So I finished one of my commissions. I've already sold it to her. She's already picked it up because for anyone who's tuning in who hasn't tuned into the other ones, I have farmers market on Saturday mornings. So I already sold it to her earlier today, but I made a few extra because I didn't know which one she was going to pick. And so I've got some of these dragonfly ear cuffs with freshwater pearls as the little bead there,
Lovely.
and they're super fun. They just clip onto your ear right there like that. Um,
Yeah,
I have.
you need to make a note. I want something with freshwater pearls like that for the cruise.
Okay, I'll make a few. I'll probably still have some left. I'll because I'm working on
I don't
because
know
they don't.
about I don't know about an ear cuff, but I like the color of that freshwater pearl. I
You
think
like
it would go.
the blue one, or it's
I
like a bluish.
I think that would go well with my outfits.
Okay, then I can make you a few because I make some tiny ones. I don't have any in here with me, but I make some tiny ones that can be worn as pendants. Do you wear dangly earrings?
I can. I don't wear any earrings unless I'm on the cruise.
True.
I would
So
wear an
I
ear
can.
cuff, but I don't want a big one like that dragonfly.
Well, I can make a small ear cuff because I've got the little swirly ones. I don't have any of those on me either, but I showed them before. But I can make a little swirly one with a freshwater pearl bead in it, or I can make a small dragonfly cuff with a freshwater pearl. Or what I could do is take, because I've got lots of leftover wire that I turn into little, like tiny dragonfly pendants. I can just hang two of those pendants from ear hooks, and you could have two little dragonfly earrings.
Oh, that'd be cute. Well, we'll
But
talk about it later.
yeah,
As anybody watching can figure out, we don't talk to each other during the week. So we just started doing this a few weeks ago, and this is our only time that we talk to each other during the week. So this is why you're getting all our family business. But continue.
so the other thing that I have that I forgot to show last week is the fabric that I got for the Lovey.
Yay. That's right. You were going to show that last week. Yep,
And I
that's
totally
pretty
forgot.
much from your description. That's pretty much what I expected it to be.
An electric lime green tiger stripe. So I've got this, and then where did I put that yarn? Okay, so the yarn for the Lovey, I think, is in this bag that I'm looking at right over here. No, it's not. Oh, the yarn's in the living room, but I've got something that's the same color as it right here. So this is a flashlight, but this is the same color as the yarn that's in there. I don't feel like getting up and taking out my headphones.
Okay.
So, but these are the colors that it's going to be, because I want it to be wild and big, because that's who I am. So these are the colors. The monster for the Lovey is going to be this color, and then the actual blanket. I just don't know how, because it's a big old piece of fabric. I got it at a thrift swap. For anyone who wasn't listening, who wasn't here before, there was a thrift swap at a shop down the road from me, and there was some extra fabric that people had, and I was like, oh, "This is exactly what I need for the Lovey I want to make." But it's a big old piece of yarn, or a big old piece of fabric, and I don't like, and it's folded again one more time, and so I don't know, because it's for oh no, still
Did you
here.
drop your camera again?
I did. I hit it with the fabric. But the Lovey is for a soon to be 1 year old, so I don't know how big to make it. I don't.
Make it as big as you want to, because I told you that Wonder Woman blanket that I made for the 1 year old girl. I'm going to switch cameras while you're fixing that.
Please do.
Um, the one that I made for the 1 year old girl, her birthday, the Wonder Woman blanket that I made, that one was, I mean, huge. It could have fit her and her 4 year old brother under it.
Oh yeah.
So it was big, but I always make big blankets, because remember that round blanket that you had, that had like, it was kind of beige, and it was lacy, and it had like bits of like pink and blue and stuff in it.
I think vaguely I remember that.
Yeah, well, somebody made that for you when you were born, and that
Oh,
thing was big enough for you to use till you were in middle school. Okay, so I like have, and ever since somebody gave us that, I like making big, when I do make blankets for people, I like making big blankets. Unless every once in a while for a newborn, I'll make like a baby size blanket. But if the child is a toddler, I toddler and up, I'm just gonna make a big old blanket, because then they can keep it for a long time, and then they
mm-hmm.
can, I mean, I may be fooling myself, because I see all kinds of blankets show up in the Goodwill and the thrift store. But my aim is that hopefully the child will be like you, where you kept your blanket until it fell apart.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I want to give them a blanket that they will keep for a long time, and possibly remember, oh, yeah, I had this blanket when I was a kid, like that ugly pink scrap blanket that I made.
Well, the only thing that I am worried about, because I would be super fine with just using this entire piece of fabric to make a blanket, and it'd just be a big old blanket that they keep. But the only thing that I'm worried about is, one, this blanket isn't just going to be a blanket, it's going to be a Lovey. And I don't know if someone would use a Lovey up until they're in middle school. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if that's a thing. And two, I'd be concerned about running out of yarn for the Lovey if it's got too big of a perimeter, you know? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I could always go back and get another skein. Um, but I'd be afraid of like different dye lots and it not quite. I mean, it's supposed to be a monster, so it's supposed to be kind of hodgepodgey
Well,
anyway, which is why I got the big colors.
well, if you're using Red Heart, before we go off on that, Tracy said that the ear cuffs were pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Um, the the if you're using Red Heart, you don't have to worry about dye lots.
Oh,
That's not an
really?
issue. Yeah,
Okay.
Red Heart is famously known to be a no dye lot yarn. So I don't, at least the Super Savory is. I don't know. I don't think any of the other ones have dye lots, but I know the Super Savory does not have dye lots.
Okay, it is Red Heart Super Saver.
So then
So
I would
so
not.
I
So
don't
you
worry
don't
about
have
that
to
at all.
worry about that. You know, as long as you know the color name, you can always get that color again.
Do you think it would be a problem for it to be a large lovey though?
I don't know that it would be a problem. I mean, I think some, because there's some kids who sort of get sentimental about, yeah, I don't really need a lovey anymore, but I still think it's cute to have this thing attached to my
Yeah.
rocket. You know, some teenagers are still sentimental like that.
Okay.
But, I think, at least if the child is one, at least make it big enough that they can still use it when they're like 5 or 6,
Okay.
so keep it for a little while.
Well, there's a little girl named Fiona at our market, and she's like 5 years old now, and so I think I'll make it so that because I see her all the time, and so I know what size she is, and so I think I'll make it big enough that Fiona would be able to use it, and then that way I know that it'll be big enough.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want it to be too small that they can't, cover their little footsies if they want to sleep under it or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. The only other thing that I have is new yarn. So I didn't go to the store and buy any yarn, but I was down at the forest fair today because that's where I hang out. Because Cree, that owns the shop, is my friend, and I enjoyed chatting and crafting with her. Because she does every once in a while what's called she'll do sit and stitches, and so
Uh-huh.
people from the community will come and bring not just their stitching, but just whatever craft they're working on. Because as you know, I don't do much
They used to
stitching.
call that a stitching bitch, but go ahead.
Like that book that you had, Stitch and Bitch Nation, man. I was thinking about that the other day.
Were you really? I
I
still have.
really
I
was.
was. I was just looking at that book about an hour ago. But go ahead.
I remember so many cool patterns in there, but I don't like.
And
I
I've
don't
never
like.
made. I've never made any of them, but I still have the book.
So you know who you could lend that book to? Someone
Whatever.
who's selling things. Um,
Whatever.
Wait, does it say in the book if you're allowed to sell things that you make from those patterns?
I
Because
don't.
people are real particular about that.
I haven't looked. I don't know.
You should check that after this. But so I went down to the forest fair and I was hanging out, telling her how market went. Oh, by the way, while we're in market corner, I did really well today. I either made $70 today or I made $50 and found a secret 20 in my in my bag because I thought that I had made like
Well,
50 almost.
either way, that's more than what you did last week.
Yeah, I thought that I'd made $50 or $60, and then all of a sudden I was going through and counting again, and there was another 20 that I didn't realize I didn't remember seeing when I counted it the first time. So I was like, "What?" So I went home with $70 today, so that's good because if that 20 had been hiding out my bag, it was in my henna bag, so I didn't have it. I wasn't able to use it. So
Mm-hmm.
but so I did really well at market today, and I'm finding more and more that as far as my prices, if I say them really confidently, people will just go with it. Like last year, when people would come up and they're like, "Oh, how much are these earrings?" And I'm like, "Well, these are 5, and this one is 6, and that one." And then today, I need to adjust what I have at what prices so I can be confident about all the prices I say. But people are coming up and they're like, "How much are the earrings?" I'm like, "All earrings are $10." And like, "All right, I'll have 2 pairs." I'm like, "Yes, you will. Thank you." That happened twice today, and I'm like,
Well,
"Oh,
good for you.
I just need to have been confident." But
Good for you.
anyway, back to the yarn. So I went down to the forest fair to talk to Cree about how market was going and everything. And she's like, "By the way, I was going through the stuff that we had for the thrift swap, and I found these balls of yarn, and I was going to give them to my grandmother, but she said that she has too much yarn anyway. So I was going to ask you if you wanted it." And I'm like, "Shoot, yeah, I want free yarn. What? I don't like buying craft supplies." And so I've got,
That's a danger though, because that's how I got into the situation I'm in, where I have all this yarn that I don't use,
Yes,
So
but
it's not the colors that I normally like to use. And so now I don't know what to do with it. And so now I'm spending all of this year making stuff just to get rid of this yarn so that I can buy yarn that I really want.
yes, but I have a necessity to use things up because I've got dream catchers, I've got scrunchies. I'm going to start making some other things that I need to show you the patterns for later. But so I like to make money. I need to use things. If I don't have any other craft supplies, this is what I've got, and I got to use it. Like I got to use up what I got, which I'm already almost through. I still haven't finished that one rainbow one because I put aside the scrunchies because you were like, "Sweetie, you're not selling any scrunchies. Maybe you should stop making scrunchies." And I'm like, maybe I should stop making scrunchies.
I didn't
So
say you should stop making scrunchies. I was
but
saying
stop
make
making the
them
really big ones.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a
Well,
make a variety.
I put them to the side anyway because I had to finish that commission and I had a bunch of other stuff that I need to tell you about happened. But anyway, the yarn before we get off topic one more time. This is Country Loom is what the brand of this looks like, and that's the label. Country
Oh,
Loom.
it's Loops and Threads is the brand.
Loops and Threads. Okay.
It's from Michaels. It's their exclusive brand.
Oh, okay. Well, I got 3 balls of that. She said she got them. She saw them at the at Goodwill. Because we have 2 good.
I never see yarn. Not that I go to Goodwill that often, but whenever I go to Goodwill or a craft store or a thrift store, I never see yarn.
Well, we have 2 Goodwills. We have the one Goodwill in Weaverville that I go to. 3 Goodwills. There's one Goodwill in Weaverville that I go to that's just like a regular Goodwill, like the one back home. There's another Goodwill like that in Nashville. And then the third Goodwill is a super Goodwill. So it's a huge building. And in one side, it looks like the regular Goodwill. And then the other side is a place where you go digging through the bins. You know that? It's
Yeah,
like one of
I've heard
those.
of that before.
Okay, so she went through the bins, and that's where she found this yarn. She said it looked like somebody had gotten rid of just a big old bag of yarn, and all these old ladies were pushing. See, I've seen people will get really vicious when it comes to bin shopping because they sell it by the weight. And so if you find a bunch of stuff and you weigh it out, it usually comes out to much cheaper than if you had bought it in the retail section. And so people are really vicious. And so I've had people like grab stuff before I can grab it. I've had people give me dirty looks because I got something that they wanted. And Cree was telling me that she was at the bin place one day and someone snatched a toy out of her daughter's hand. And I was like, what? That is so extra. That is so unnecessary. Like just snatched it out of her hand. But anyway, so that's where Cree got the yarn. So I've got this one, which is kind of, you probably can't see it very well. It's like kind of cotton candy colors.
Oh, see, I was thinking oatmeal.
No, because
in there.
Yeah, there's pink, there's blue, there's green, but yeah, you definitely can't see this. I'll maybe throw up a picture or something later on. But I got that one. And then I've got this one, which is a nice purpley. It's got like a light purple, and then it's got like a nice like reddish violet in there too, which you probably also can't see.
I can't see the reddish either. All I can see is like a bluish. It looks bluish to me.
And then the last one I got, which this one will probably show up exactly the way it is. It's just a blue.
Yeah, like a light blue.
Yep, just a light blue. It's got like a little bit of variation, but it's not like super.
The texture of it looks a little bit like Lion Brand homespun.
Is that what this is? I was going to ask you about it.
It's not homespun, but it looks like the texture of homespun. It looks like what they call a boucle, or what they used to call a boucle yarn.
Is that what this is? Because it looks like if someone had taken like a long, thin piece of wool or something and then put one single like thread through the middle of it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's kind of how Lion Brand homespun is.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea. And this is my first time really working with this kind of yarn because I don't normally get it. So I'm enjoying it though.
Is it funky? What does it say on the label?
Let's see.
And is it 100% acrylic?
100% acrylic it is. Mm-hmm. Where would it say?
Well, if it doesn't, right where it shows you what size hook it should be, if it's a newer yarn, it'll say it's a 4 or it's a 5 or it's a 2.
So I see a hook here and it says, oh, super bulky, super bulky. It's a 6.
Okay. A 6?
It says
Wow.
6 on there. Yeah, that's what, if I can, that's the right thing I'm looking at, right?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to be looking at. Yep.
Yeah, it says there's a big old number 6 right there, but it
Yeah.
doesn't feel that extra bulky. Like it doesn't feel that bad.
So, what are you planning on making with that?
Well, right now I'm making scrunchies. I'm gonna make some of those. I'm gonna make not the super big ones. I may make one super big one, but not the super big ones. I'm gonna make some like smaller ones for 3 packs. Which I
See,
what?
I would say that the texture of that yarn is not being shown to best advantage in a scrunchie. I would say make a hat or
Okay,
a scarf.
okay. 2 problems with that. One, a scarf is gonna take forever. I'm not making a scarf.
A
I
scarf
have been
will not
looking.
take forever, but go
It
ahead.
will. You don't know, but I have been looking at some hat patterns, and
Uh-huh.
we can go through later during Ravelry Corner. We can go through and look at the patterns that I have because I've learned how to favorite patterns now. Now that I know what these buttons
Yay. I have
and
not looked at your Ravelry since we did this on the live stream last time. So
yeah, so I favorited a bunch of patterns. So after all I had to show was the yarn. That was my last thing. So after we go through your stuff, we can bring up stuff for Ravelry Corner, and I can show you the things that I'm excited for. I haven't like put them into little groups or anything, but I got some patterns on there.
So I guess we are starting to thank you for showing your stuff. We're going to switch back to my screen now. I guess we are segmenting this vlog
Don't things like that
into,
naturally segment?
huh?
Don't things like that naturally segment, like podcasts and like certain styles of YouTube thing, like once you do them so often, don't they just kind of naturally segment themselves?
No, because I've done how many of these? 25 already, and I still am all over the place.
Well, you only had one segment. This is what I'm working on.
Um, yeah, I'm all over the place with my stuff. So, but so I guess we're going to be doing what our whips and acquisitions, and then we can do an upcoming set with like Terry on Yarn Joy does. That's another YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
She does an upcoming where she talks about projects that she's thinking of working on. And then, oh, and we also said we were going to start talking about our goals for the next stuff
Yes.
to work on between this video and the next video. Tracy, and in between, we'll take breaks to read the chat. Tracy seems to think that you look like me, but we both know that's not true.
Mm,
She says
that's
her
what
daughter looks
everyone
like
says,
me.
Tracy.
Huh?
Literally everyone. That's what everyone says.
I don't see it myself, but
Me either. Except for that one picture on that ID card that I had back when, like, forever, your, what was it, your Army ID card that I
yeah.
definitely carried in my wallet for the longest time because it looked exactly like me. That is the only time that I feel like we have looked alike because that one picture looked exactly like me in high school.
Is your imagination.
Meh.
Okay, I did something wrong. Crappity crappity. I did something wrong.
Oh, and you're knitting?
I
What
did
did you
something
do?
wrong.
What have you done?
Well, I think I. Well, I'm about to show this anyway, so we might as well get into it. Okay, let me clip this off so that I don't lose my stitch. This, by the way, this is one of the things I can't remember what video I saw this either on a some knitter or crocheter's blog or a YouTube video. I can't remember which, but these stitch markers
Mm-hmm.
I didn't used to use this style of stitch marker. They look, if in case you can see, they look like little safety pins where you can clip them
Okay.
in there to close and open them back up. I used to use just, let me see if I have any in here. No, I don't have any in here. But I used to use either bobby pins back before you guys were born, when I was, young, dumb, and broke. I
Mm.
used um, bobby pins, and then I graduated to using just the little white circles that were fine for knitting because you could slip them over your knitting needle like
Yeah.
this to mark a space in between. But if you needed to mark something like on your fabric like this, they didn't do very well
Yeah, I
like
remember those
this.
little loops.
So I used to use bobby pins for these. But then when I bought my cheap crochet hooks that I told you on
Ooh,
Amazon,
you mean the ones that I definitely still have not bought yet? I
you need
forgot
to
to order them.
order that set. And then I also bought these. I think there was a bag of like 100 or something, and they were like $1. So I threw them in with the order. And these have been the greatest thing. Only
Really?
problem is, like bobby pins, I keep losing them because you know how bobby pins fall out of your bag, and then
They fall out of everywhere.
just get swept up and thrown away. And next thing you know, you started with 100 bobby pins on that little
And
card
now
that
you
you
got
got from
three.
Walmart, and then you've got three, and you need to go buy more bobby pins. Yeah, that's what's happening with these. These are disappearing everywhere. But anyway, two of the things, and I showed this on Instagram, one of them, and it's not my original idea, but I think it's the greatest thing. Two of the things, one of them that I already showed was I won't lose my, I don't know if you can see
Oh yeah.
that, but I don't lose my ends anymore because see, I have it, the end of the yarn is clipped
Oh,
to
that's so
the print.
smart.
Because see, what I do, I'll take it off, is see, this is the end of the yarn, and I've made a slip knot
Yeah.
to put to hook the little clip in, and then I go to here and I just hook it through a few of the strands here and then close it like a safety pin, and then it just stays closed, and then
Ooh, I need to get some of those.
you can
That
find
is
your
so
end.
smart.
And the other thing, the second thing that the main thing that I had been using them to do was like to mark my progress, like so that I can remember the right side from the wrong side if the
Mhm.
project looks the same on both sides or whatever. So that was the first thing I started using them for. I didn't need anybody to tell me to do that. But the other thing that I've been using them for is like, you don't need this so much in knitting, but in crochet, like I'm about to show you this project. So I used to kind of, where is it? I used to like when I would put my project away, I would like have the hook sitting in here, and I would
Mm.
maybe try to weave it through
Yep,
here a little
I do
bit
that.
so, but it would come off the other end because there's no knobs on the end of these, or I'd lose, the hook would fall out or whatever. And now I take the hook out and put it back in my case. That's why now I write down what hook I'm using so I won't forget. But then I also take the little clippy thing and I put it through the hole that you have when you have a crochet thing in progress, and then clip it so that, see, now it's not, now the strip, you see how it's not going to come loose, whereas if you had not done this, the hook would fall out and then you just lose some of your stuff while it's in the bag. You see what I'm saying?
My mind, she is blown.
I mean, this is the best, that dollar worth of
Oh my
stitch
God.
markers has made a big difference. And I can't take credit for it, but I can't remember who I saw on YouTube who showed me this stuff.
Oh,
I can't remember,
oh, it's so smart though. I
but
need to get some.
it's made a big difference in my, well, don't pay, I'm telling you, don't pay a whole lot for them, because I got these either, I think it was either Amazon or eBay. Either
Mm-hmm.
I got them on eBay when I first discovered, what was it? There's a certain category on eBay where basically it's free shipping if you don't mind them taking 6 weeks to send it to you.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what that category is, but I got a lot of cheap stuff that way.
Okay. Can we pause for like just a moment?
Okay.
So I'm working on the scrunchie,
Uh huh.
and I'm trying to make smaller scrunchies, and I think I'm falling into the habit of I like big scrunchies, and so I make big scrunchies.
Uh
Um,
huh.
so I'm trying to make smaller ones, and I have a couple other ones, but this yarn is so bulky that they're turning out really bulky. Like I was going to do this around
Uh-huh.
the entire scrunchie, but that's real big though, isn't it?
No, I don't think it's as big as the other ones that you were making, because the other ones were voluminous
Yeah.
because you had a lot of extra fabric going all the way around it. I think that's just the design sticking out, but it's not.
It's not super.
It's not using up half a skein of yarn like you were doing before.
Yeah, okay, it's definitely not doing that. I've got another one that I made that way. If you don't mind to hold on for just a second, it's actually just sitting right here.
Okay.
I could show you
Well,
because I made it with the red heart. Yeah, you
you
continue
grab
showing it.
that
I'll
while
grab
I
that.
start showing this project.
Yep, you go right ahead.
Oh, and thank you, Tracy, about the good idea with the markers and yarn. Like I said, I can't really take credit for it because I know that one where it said to clip the yarn to the skein. I know I got that off somebody else's video. I just can't remember. But so like just like Maya, I don't have a lot to show. What I have in my hand, first off, I think when I first showed this, I just had the pink, which is the center, because
Ooh, the waffle.
I know you can't see the colors. Yeah, this is the raised waffle square, and I'm just going round and round
Mm-hmm.
trying to use up the four skeins of yarn. And I was telling your father yesterday, um, I'm looking at the video here, and I know that the colors are showing up better in the video, but I still know they're not very good. But the outside here is a yellow,
Yeah.
and this is a green
Yep.
here. And when I put the green, I tried to organize the skeins of yarn so that I'm using them in an order that whatever's on either side of it would look good with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I did the green second so that, because pink and green look nice and yellow and green look nice.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to do it so that the colors on either side would always be two colors that look nice with the middle
Yeah.
color. But this yellow is a color, is a, I'm pretty sure it's a red heart color called cornmeal. And it kind of lives up to its name because it's not a, at first I thought of it as a pastel yellow, but it's not really a pastel yellow. It's kind of like a,
Like a
almost makes
dusty yellow.
you, yeah, a dusty yellow. It almost makes you think of corn chips.
Mm-hmm.
And the green is already kind of a dusty green, which you don't think of how dusty it is when it's up against the pink, but when it's up against the yellow, it just looks very, it looks
Mm.
blah to me. But
See,
but as soon as I was working, added the yellow last night, I was saying I don't think I like this yellow. And your father, who doesn't normally comment spontaneously on my project, said, but the yellow goes so well with the green. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll stick with this yellow because he thinks that it goes well with the green.
it doesn't
And the
look
whole,
very. It doesn't look blah to me, but it definitely looks like something I would see not down where you are, but up here in the mountains. Something that somebody would throw over their couch or something like that. Like those look like mountain colors to me, like dusty, like rustic kind of. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I put the four colors together. I'm going to pull them back out just in case for anybody who wasn't watching last week. But I put the four colors together because A, they are colors I would not use because I go for brighter colors.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a very light pale green, and I go for like a spring green. And I'm hoping that when I add in this purple that it
Mm-hmm.
will kind of brighten things back up for me. Although it's not going to brighten it much because this purple is not very,
It'll
bright.
probably brighten. It's just bright enough, I think, that it'll pull it back out. You know.
Because I was hoping that this would be, I was going for more spring colors
Mm-hmm.
with these. I thought putting the four of them together would be like spring colors, like
Mm-hmm.
Easter colors. But also, I was hoping that I'm hoping that this is going to use up these four skeins of yarn. I'm hoping that because your father, when I first put the colors together, your father said, "Is this going to be enough for a blanket?" I said, "I hope it's enough for something because I'm trying to use them all up." But I feel like the square is already starting to grow, and I feel like I've barely made a dent because this skein
Mm-hmm.
of cornmeal is feeling firm. It's not, it's not loosey goosey like when you're almost using it
Yeah.
up. It is firm. So I feel like there's a lot of yarn packed in here. And same thing with the pink. The green, see, the green feels loosey goosey. The green feels like I'm going to run out of it quick. And
Do you do you know
the
what
purple
brand
is,
that is? Would you be able to get another one of the green?
I'm pretty sure they're all Red Heart. And the purple is a smaller skein than the rest of them. It's a firm skein, but it's a smaller skein, so it probably has less yardage. So I feel as though this project is going to. Um, Tracy said the square was pretty. Thank you, Tracy. Um, I like hearing that the square is pretty, even though it's not my taste.
I like it. I think it looks good. Like I said, it doesn't look bad. It just looks like rustic.
The pattern itself is my taste. And I've seen the pattern I got the pattern off of Instagram. And I've seen the pattern where other people have done it. Like there's a user on there called Crochetti Wop. And I know. And she did hers. I decided to do mine because I saw hers. And hers was like a really bright rainbow colors. And but that's not what I've got in my stash.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I run out of green or if I run out of any of these colors and I don't feel like it's big enough to be a useful blanket, I will just throw in some of these variegated colors and just make another ugly blanket. I do not care. This is the first one out of the blanket, the stash busting um journey I'm going on where I actually tried to coordinate some colors. Because
Yeah.
like my other stash busting one with the squares, the crochet along that I'm doing, I didn't try to coordinate those colors. I reached into a bag, got the color, that's the next square that I'm doing because I'm trying to use up all the yarn.
It's like a yarn mystery box.
Pretty much. So I'm trying to use up all the yarn. So the purpose is to use up this yarn. So I'm not going to buy any more yarn if I run out of yarn for this. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not buying any more yarn. Okay, the other thing on my list. So we got that. The other thing on my list. I'm pretty sure I showed this last week, but I'm going to show it again. But I haven't made any progress on it whatsoever, other than to add my bobbins to it, the AKA scarf.
But you got bobbins.
I got bobbins because I had to admit to myself, okay, just go ahead and put the bobbins on. You don't want to deal with the bobbins, but I stole the bobbins off of the other corner to corner project that I did not finish. And as
Mm-hmm.
I said on Instagram, hopefully third time's a charm. Hopefully I'll actually finish this one. I must admit that the using the bobbins and doing the counts that are already counted seem to be
Mm-hmm.
making it move a little bit faster. So I would probably
Oh,
work
did you
on
pay
that.
for the counts?
Huh?
Did you pay for the counts?
Yeah, I went ahead and I didn't mention this last week when I showed that, did I? I went ahead and
Mm-mm.
bought the pattern instead because remember I was playing around with the idea of making my own pattern. I
Mm-hmm.
went ahead and bought the pattern instead
Mm-hmm.
of, because as you so rightly admitted, if I didn't buy a pattern, I was not going to get this project done.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is a project, like I said, that is supposed to kind of be for a gift. But if I don't finish it, it's not the end of the world because I haven't told your father that I was making it as a gift. So if he buys the girl another gift, then it's not the end of
Mm-hmm.
the world. So the last thing that I want to show, which I did work on, but because it takes me so long, haven't made a lot of progress, which is the sweater.
Mm-hmm.
And where's my marker? As you can see from my markers, I've barely got half an inch.
Oh man.
Because this is where I left off when I showed it to you guys last week, and this is where I am now. So as you can see, and that's roughly 4 rows that I got done. So I will probably work on this during the other than stitching video when we take our break. Only reason
Okay.
I'm not working on it now is because I left my little. I have to mark down on paper, okay, because I you have to do the lace. There's two lace panels, and you have to do the lace every other row. So I have to mark, okay, lace row, even row, lace row, even row, and I left my little paper where I marked all that down in the room. So I've already made so many mistakes in that sweater that I don't want to make any more mistakes. So that is all that I have worked on this week.
All right.
I did have to take a break a few times because of
Your
pain in
hand.
my arm and stuff like before. So I
Well,
had to
I
get a
went and grabbed that scrunchie.
okay.
So this is one. It's got some kind of funky colors because I was using the Red Heart stripes and the like. It's not quite big enough to go through an entire set of colors or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got like kind of half blue, half purple.
Uh, that's
But
not
you
too
see
bad.
I just kind of winged it and did some chains and some double crochets
It looks
and attached it.
nice.
But does this look like a decent size for like a small scrunchie? This doesn't look too big.
Yes. No,
Okay.
that's not too big. That's not too big at all.
Okay.
Okay. I have made a mistake.
All right. So now that we've showed everything that we worked on, um, did you have anything else you wanted to show or talk about, or do you want to go to Ravelry Corner?
Okay, I think yeah, let's go ahead and go to Ravelry Corner because the two things that I wrote down can be covered in Ravelry Corner.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's.
so I guess I need to bring up Ravelry on my
Yeah, sorry.
screen.
If I eventually get a
Um,
laptop that works better, then I could do that myself. But in the meantime,
no bigs, no bigs. Okay, let's
while
see.
you're bringing up Ravelry, did you get a chance to watch that video that I was talking about the live streaming the chat or whatever?
Yes, I did, and I was going to talk to you about that. The upshot of it is that they are not going to, although the things say that they're shutting down Google Hangouts. I did further research. What they're really doing is they're shutting down Google Plus, which I already knew, which means
Mm-hmm.
that there won't be any Hangouts through Google Plus, but they're rolling Hangouts into something else. So they're rolling it into YouTube, and they're rolling it into something else. It's going to be like Hangouts Meet and Hangouts Chat.
Okay.
So it's going to stay. It's going to
Awesome.
stay apart. So we don't have to worry about that.
Awesome.
We don't have to worry about that. What we might have to worry about is because I was hoping to find a way to switch to um, filming on my iPhone or my iPad because the camera is better and then I can get better color to show my projects. But they just announced that on YouTube you cannot they've changed it so that you cannot stream from your phone unless you have at least 1,000 subscribers.
Rude.
Yeah. So,
Well, y'all heard that. Go get your friends to subscribe. If you want better pictures, get all your friends to sign up.
don't be telling people to subscribe to this channel. I am not. Why are you trying to drum up business?
Because that's what I do. It's like you don't even know me.
I don't. Whose child are you? Okay, so I'm about to switch. I'm about to switch to screen share.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't mind my chewing. I'm eating lunch.
Child.
I'm hungry.
So rude. Okay, wait a minute. Why are you? Do you see it flashing?
No, it doesn't look like it's flashing to me.
Oh, it's flashing on my end. Okay. I guess it's better now. Okie dokie. So, you said you favorited a few things that you wanted to mention?
Yes. Oh, by the way, has Tracy said anything else in the chat?
Let me see. Let me see. She said my square was pretty, and that was the last thing she said. So
All right.
apparently we're being boring. Either that or Tracy is stitching something and doesn't have time to type. Okay, so
let's see.
Anything in particular? Oh, I see the F-bomb purse.
Yes, I really like that one. I'm hoping to do that one. If you scroll down, keep scrolling. I like the octopus shawl. If you look at that one, remember I was telling you. Yeah, you remember I was telling you about a dragon shawl before. It's basically like that, but it looks like it's going to take absolutely forever. Because it looks so cool, and I feel like it'd be really popular because I'm doing a fantasy festival coming up soon. I'm doing an anime convention, I think, a comic book convention, and a couple other like fairs and stuff. I'm doing Mermaid Festival, which that would be really popular for Mermaid Festival, I think, but it looks like it would take forever.
Well, see, the plus side is that it is filet crochet,
what is that?
Which is basically the same stitch all the way through. You don't have to change colors. It's just a matter of whether you leave spaces or not.
Okay.
So,
well, maybe I could book it through that pattern.
Yeah, I've never done filet crochet, but I know that the concept of it is not difficult. What may take longer is the fact that it's done in DK weight, which means it's a bit thinner than the worsted weight. It's DK is like a 3, where you're used to using a 4.
Okay.
So.
And there were, I think, a couple other things. I just pulled through 2 loops when I meant to pull through 1. Yeah, I'm not like I like the look of this yarn, the one I'm working with, the one I showed you, but it's really it feels really easy to split it. Oh, there it is right there on the screen. You see that glowing mushroom?
The jack-o'-lantern mushroom pouch?
Yes. It looks so cute.
Okie dokie.
You see how you can like pull the little top off and there's a little pouch?
Okay, yeah, it looks like a tampon right there, but okay. But it is cute.
I think it looks super cute, and I feel like it'd be popular as like a little pouch to put like your chapstick or.
How'd you get so loud? How'd you get so loud?
I don't know. I didn't do anything. I've been sitting here doing exactly the same thing the whole time. Am I still really loud?
Okay, you got really loud.
Maybe you accidentally turned up the volume?
Well, I'm checking my headset to see, but okay. I just hope you're not all of a sudden loud for our guests who may or may not be watching.
Hopefully not.
Who am I kidding? Nobody's watching us.
But it looks.
Tracy says that she's still here, just listening, and we're not boring. Thanks for that vote of confidence, Tracy.
But I think it would be really cute. Because people in this area tend to go to a lot of festivals and stuff anyway. So it'd be a cute place to put, like, if you have a lighter, if you've got your chapstick, if you've got like a little secret stash of like $20, like roll up a 20 and stick it in there so you can like hold on to it, you know?
It is cute, and if you could get your hands on some of that glow in the dark yarn, that would be cute too.
Yeah. I don't know about all that, but I was thinking about just making it with what I've got, just making it with regular colors, but that yarn would be super cool if I could find some.
Well, it doesn't look like it's discontinued, so we can do a search for that. Not right now, but
And then I think the only other thing I wanted to show, like all of that stuff on there is stuff that I think I would like to make. Um, but let's see, if you scroll down just a tiny bit. Oh, there it is. It's the Krampus hat. It's if you
the
scroll back up just a little
viking
bit.
helmet.
No, scroll
Oh,
back up just a little bit.
this thing.
Yes. So that in itself looks like it's going to take forever.
Is this
But
craziness that you look up on? What you do? Find the weird part of Ravelry?
yes, I did. I try to find the weird part of Ravelry, and it's real hard to find. Y'all hide it really well.
Okay.
But so the hat itself looks like it would take forever to make. And it looks like it would be just a pain in the butt and real stressful because you make the hat part is like the loopy or whatever. And I read some comments and people said, oh, the hat like took a lot to knit or to crochet up. But
Uh-huh.
the horns, you make them separately and sew them on. And so I was thinking that I could make regular hats or make headbands
And do the horns.
and do the horns and put the horns on regular hats, which I think would be pretty popular, especially at comic book conventions, anime conventions, stuff like that. So I'm thinking I might do that.
Cool, 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 cool. Okay. Well, I want to do the two thoughts that I had. Let's look at my favorites for a minute. The two thoughts that I had were number one, let's see, where are we? Okay, we got about 10 more minutes on this
All right.
before we take our break and go into the non-Stitchy podcast. But
Not a
this
podcast.
podcast, uh, okay. So things that I've been thinking about are, let me see if I even have any of them saved. I don't. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Well, the first, since I don't seem to have anything saved, the first thought that I had was I want to make, I've been trying to find different ways to use up the stash, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
the box that keeps on giving, as I've called it. And because I have some yarn that has specific purposes set aside for it, but then that I bought. But then I
Mm-hmm.
have that box that keeps on giving, which is just stuff that I don't know what I'm going to use for. But anyway, I was thinking, well, maybe a bath mat,
Okay.
maybe a bath mat would be cool. But then I was thinking the majority of the stuff that I have is acrylic, and I'm wondering if it's better to make a bath mat out of cotton.
Hmm.
I know you don't know the answer. I'm just throwing it out there because just in case somebody is going to watch this one day after the live stream, they
Yeah, if
might
you
want
know, leave it in the comments.
to. Is it better? Because I know that cotton is more absorbent than acrylic. So cotton would be good simply because it's more absorbent. But then I was thinking acrylic because cotton takes a long time to dry. I know from making cotton dishcloths that they seem to take a while to dry.
Yeah.
And the cotton, I made a cotton scrubby before
Mm-hmm.
where it looked almost like a sponge and it had nubby ends on one side and I put some scrubby stuff on the other side. And so it was I don't even know if I might have a picture of it. Let's see. But it was double thickness. It was a double thickness or a triple thickness.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used the Red Heart. Um, what do they call it? Do they call it scrub? Yeah, I think
I
they
think
call it.
so. Because I saw some at Walmart the other day, Red Heart Scrubby.
I used the Red Heart Scrubby, and well, I do not see it on here, so clearly I did not take a picture of it when I made it. Oh well. I used the Red Heart Scrubby and the and some cotton, some Lily's peaches and cream cotton or whatever it was, and it
Yeah.
was like third thickness, and it was nice to wash things with. But that thing took 3 days to dry,
Ooh.
hanging over the sink. So I'm not making any more of those. I don't even know what happened to the one I made because I washed it, threw it in the dryer, and never used it again. So it might be in the linen closet because it took way too long to dry. So so I don't want that underfoot in the bathroom. Is the point that I'm
Yeah.
trying to make.
It would be
So,
squishy and gross.
but then if the acrylic is not going to absorb the water when you get out of the shower,
I mean,
that's not.
maybe a cotton acrylic mix or blend or something.
I thought of that, except the cotton acrylic blends tend to be more expensive
Oh yeah.
than the cotton, or because for some reason cotton acrylic blend is treated like a more premium yarn, and I'm not
Hmm.
trying to put $60 worth of yarn into a format.
Not if you're not gonna sell it.
No. So I don't think you could even sell a $60 floor mat. Come on now.
I mean, if you made
But
it look fancy enough.
I don't know. So I think after talking it through with you, now that I've talked it through out loud, I think I've already talked myself into probably doing acrylic. And it's gonna be
Yes.
and it's gonna be ugly, just like my Afghans and everything else. It's gonna be an
Mm.
ugly one. I just want to, excuse me. I just want to use. I want to use up those bits and bobs of yarn that I can't match with anything else. I have, like I said, some of the yarn in the box that keeps on giving kind of matches each other simply because the person who originally had the yarn had projects planned for it, and so some of those yarns kind of match each other a little
Yeah.
bit. But then I do have some loose balls that don't match anything. And so the other two things I had on my mind, and then we can get on out of here, are
Oh, before you go, would you for the bath mat? Would you put a rubber doodad under it?
I was thinking about that too. I have one bath mat that doesn't have a rubber doodad, and I have another bath mat that does.
Hmm.
And I kind of prefer, and both of those are store bought. And I kind of prefer the one that doesn't have the rubber doodad because I
Really?
can.
What does it not slip around?
No, well, I mean, it slips around, but only in a good way. Like, like when we get at, how our bathroom is situated. When we get out
Yeah.
of our shower, and then we can step on the bath mat, and then we can take our feet and just kind of slide over to the sink, or
Hmm.
slide over. We can get out of the shower and slide over to the sink, or slide over to the tub with the bath mat without it. I know it sounds weird, but you know what I'm talking
I
about. The
know exactly
shuffle,
what you're talking about.
that shuffle with your feet. We can do that without. Um, Whereas the one that has the rubber on the bottom, you can't really
It doesn't scoot.
shuffle. It doesn't scoot. So, and I haven't, and you know how clumsy I am. I have yet to like have that other bath mat slip out from under me and make me fall. And
Okay.
I can fall in thin air. So
Yeah.
so for those who don't know, I broke my left foot and then sprained my right ankle all within the same month. So
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
um so the only other two things that I had on my mind were I was thinking this somebody on, I think it was the Canadian Crocheter, mentioned this
Woo.
pattern. And even though I don't need to, I'm trying not to add more patterns to my favorites because I add patterns and never make any of them. and I'm part of a group on Facebook where we're trying to stitch. It's called Stitch Your Library, which is basically quit buying. I don't buy patterns a lot, but I do collect a ton of free patterns, and
I need
it's
to go
like
through and look at your patterns.
quit collecting patterns but you're not making any of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I used to play The Sims, and when The Sims first came out, there was this whole bustling community online of people who would make the little houses and make outfits and stuff like that. And I would spend hours looking for outfits and houses and things like that for my Sims and downloading them onto my hard drive. And I never used them in the game.
Mm.
I just kept looking for stuff and looking for more stuff that I could download for free, but I never used it. And so I'm trying to get in the habit. And I do have books as well, because there was a point like 20, 25 years ago when I was going through another knitting and crochet phase where I did buy books and buy magazines. And every month I'd go and buy the Vogue knitting, and I'd buy interweave crochet and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I still have these books and magazines and stuff, and have never made near pattern out of them.
Mm.
Out of the magazines alone, I can point to like maybe one or two. I can point to like two patterns I've made out of,
Ooh.
and those patterns I made over 20 years ago.
Oh.
So, so I need to stop collecting patterns. But this pattern, just as soon as she showed it, it just spoke to me. It doesn't look like much here, but when you look at like the different projects that people have made with it, it made me think of getting some of that um, red heart stripes, or like the red heart ombre that goes from like dark to light.
Yeah.
I think it look really pretty in the shell scarf pattern.
I think so. Yeah.
That's like this one in particular. See how it's got all the different shades of brown?
Yeah.
I like that. Um, this is one that was made in Great Fizz, which I know is a popular red heart color among some of the people I know on YouTube.
I will be right back. Wayne is leaving for work. I'm going to give him a hug and they'll be back.
Nah, 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 nah. Go
Mm.
and whatever. I'll just keep talking to Tracy because she's still here to listen to me.
If you're feeling better
So,
tonight, you pick me up.
so I think this shell pattern would be nice in one of the ombre yarns. Not that I need a scarf, but I occasionally scarves are one of those things that I can put in my gift box. And when I need a last minute gift to give somebody, they're usually well received. So I really want to make this one. The other thing that I was thinking of, which may or may not be an upcoming project, is I would like to make. We're going on vacation. I don't know if I've mentioned this previously, but we are going on vacation, a family vacation in September. We're going on a cruise, that's usually what we do for our family vacations. And I I want to make a shawl for myself, because every year I get cold when we're on the cruise. Because the inner rooms, it's not so much on the deck. On the deck it's fine because you have that breeze coming off the water, and so it feels nice. But especially in the evening on the cruise, on the inside, like in the dining rooms and stuff, I get chilled. And
That
especially
dining room
in the
was so cold.
Yeah, I get chilled in the dining rooms and in the cabins. And one time we took a cruise in January, which we don't normally do, but like I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, we took a cruise in January, and there was a cold snap in Florida that year. So normally we cruise out of Miami and it's hot when we get down there, and then we get on the ship, and then it cools off as we get out to sea, but it's still pleasant. And then it's hot when we get back to Miami. That year there was a cold snap, so it was colder in January than it usually is in Miami. And so it was freezing. And I did not have a sweater or anything. And it was freezing. And of course, because these are cruise ships, there's no heat in the cabins. So there's still air conditioning running in all the places. There's
That
no
sounds like
big
my
there's
nightmare.
no big blankets that I can cuddle under or anything. I was cold for that whole trip. It was miserable. So we have the trips I've had since then have not been that cold, but I still find myself at least one point or another during a cruise that wanting a shawl. And I'm thinking this year, if I really get on the ball, I might be able to make myself a shawl. I've been wanting a shawl for years. Anybody who's been watching my videos, I've mentioned wanting a shawl more than once because I find that I have found that I don't like pullovers. I prefer to have layers so that I can so that if I get because my temperature it seems to have gotten worse over the last few years, but it seems like my the thermostat in my body goes up and down rapidly.
Ugh.
So oh, Tracy said that she liked the shell scarf. Yes, that shell scarf is pretty. I can't wait to make one. But
See, you and I want to make very different things.
yes, we do. But you see, I've got a Pokeball scarf in my favorites.
Yes, but were you going to make that for you, or did someone ask you to make that?
I was gonna make it for one of my children, but not for me. Not for me. But as I was saying, I have found that I prefer to have a cardigan rather than a pullover. Like I have sweatshirts, pullover sweatshirts that your father has bought me for wintertime that I don't ever wear because I wear them and I get hot in the wrong place, but then they're open around the neck, so then I'm cold around my neck. So
That's
they don't do
weird.
so they don't do any good for me. So I hardly ever wear the sweatshirts that
See,
I have.
I love a good hoodie or like a zip up jacket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a hoodie in sweatshirt material is fine because I can zip it up. It gets around the neck area where I get cold, and I can take it off when I get inside a building or somewhere where I get warm.
Yeah.
That seems to be the situation that I have is that some people's houses are cold, but I feel weird wearing my outside jacket in their house when
Yeah.
I'm cold. And other people's houses are warm. And if I've already worn a sweater because it's December and I've bundled up in all these pullover sweaters, then I get in their house and they've got the heat on, then I don't have anything I can pull off. So a shawl I feel like would help with that situation because it's all right to be wrapped up in a shawl in somebody's house if you're
Yeah.
not looking like you're about to leave in the next 5 minutes. So, and I want to make a shawl
Hmm.
and not one of these neck things that people are calling shawls. To me, if it's around your neck, it's a scarf.
I haven't seen anybody call a neck thing a shawl. Have you seen it
Oh,
like on
yeah.
Ravelry?
No, in the knitting community and the crochet community, people call those things that they put around their necks shawls. If they make them in a triangular shape, they
I'm
call it a
sorry.
shawl. To me, that's not a shawl. A shawl
No.
goes around your shoulder.
If it
But
goes around your neck, it's a scarf. That makes it
yes,
look like a cowl or something.
don't get me started on cows.
Do you not like cowls?
No,
What? Why?
no, I don't like cows. The
What you got
closest,
against cowls?
see, you're gonna make the rest of the yarn community hate me, but cowls, I think cowls look weird. Okay, they're just not my taste. I think they look weird. The ones that are see, there's not even any in my thing here because I don't.
Just search cowl
I don't like them.
while we're
Well,
still in
we'll
Ravelry
come back
corner.
and we'll come back to my shawl situation in a second. But
River.
I'm going to attempt to do this without insulting anybody's handiwork.
Ooh.
But like something like that looks uncomfortable.
See, that I could see. That looks like something only a fashion model should be wearing.
That
But
looks uncomfortable to me. It looks like you're trying to stretch your neck.
but one's like, let's see if I can see one. Like, what about stop? The one in the middle, cowl à la américaine.
See, that one's almost okay. But I
It just
really
looks
don't
like a scarf that doesn't drape as much.
yeah, the lack of drapage I think is what bothers me.
Huh.
Looks like you're stretching your neck. That
But it
just does
wouldn't
not
feel like you're stretching your neck.
that just does not. That's why this was less objectionable than the other ones because it looks to me like you could scrunch it.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, and again, I understand why people make these. I feel like there's a gap between what is fun to make as a stitcher and what is
Versus what
fun
people
and
actually wear.
fun to wear as a person.
Yeah.
And I don't, for me personally, I don't think cowls would be fun to wear. The same reason pullovers are not fun for me anymore because, or not fun, but not comfortable for me anymore is because I like to be able to adjust where the coverage is so that I
Mm-hmm.
can be warm.
Okay, I can see
And
that.
if the cowl is already closed, then I can't make enough of an adjustment. Whereas with a scarf, I can wrap it tighter or I can
Yeah.
looser. Where
Okay.
cowl, you can't do that.
See, I feel like it just appeals to me because it looks like the kind of thing that I could pull up over my face, like over my nose. Because when it gets cold up here in the mountains, it gets real cold, and my face gets real cold. And my scarves that I try to wrap, like a normal scarf, if I tried to wrap it over my face, unless we have one scarf that I can wrap, and it's not even mine, it's Wayne's, and so I have to only use it whenever he's not using it going to work.
And what happened to the
But
one I made you? I'm putting you on the spot now. What happened to the one I made you?
I've got it, but it doesn't stay on my face. Like most of the scarves that I own, because I've got several, most of the scarves that I own, if I try to wrap them over my face, it won't stay up there. It droops down, and then I got a cold nose.
Okay. I'll try not to be heartbroken.
I wear them. I just wear them and have a cold face.
I'm kidding. The fact that you wear it at all is nice. Um,
Over here calling me out.
but so I want to make a shawl, but I don't know if I'm going to get it finished before we go on our trip in September. I need to start now,
Yes, you
and
do.
and realistically, it needs to be in worsted weight because if I go, or at the very least, a 3, maybe a DK, it needs to be in a 3 or a 4.
Mm.
I don't want to go up to like a 5 or a 6 because I don't want it to look chunky. Because I'm going to wear it in the evening when we go to dinner, and you're a little bit dressier in the evening.
Yeah.
So I want it to look, a little bit feminine,
Yeah.
but I don't want to be stitching for 5 years. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking this one
That's the
because
one that I've been looking at, that I've been eyeing as you're scrolling through your thing.
I'm thinking about this one because I've heard that Doris Chan's patterns are real easy to do. And
Mm-hmm.
this one in particular, this all shawl, something about the way they make it has a shape where it will stay on and not like fall off of your shoulders.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why I have it in my favorites because there's something about the way that you shape it that it kind of stays on like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking that I was also thinking, I don't have it saved in my favorites, I don't think. Let me see. Maybe I've got it in my library because I almost decided to make this one. And let's see. The virus shawl is a hot thing, but I don't know that I want to do just the virus. So what I put in my library is the virus versus granny.
Oh, I think you may have been talking about this before.
I talked about it, but I didn't show it. It had
Ooh.
some granny and some virus in it.
Ooh, I like it. I don't like that it's called virus, but I like it. It just makes me uncomfortable. It feels bad.
So I think I might do, and here's some more examples of it. So I think I might do this one, or I
Mm-hmm.
might, or I might do the all shawl. I think, see, talking it through with you guys, with you again, has made me kind of narrow it down. Um, but I think the yarn that I want to use, which means I'll have to actually buy some yarn. That's the other thing. I'm trying to think of um, what colors are in the outfits that I normally wear on the cruise.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty much gonna go with I want to go with something that's like a black and gray.
Okay.
Like there's some yarns that I've seen. I'm trying to see if I can find one.
Well, if you're able to do worsted weight, there's a really nice black and gray red heart ombre.
Yeah, something like a red heart ombre or something, where it kind of fades into one color, where it's
Mm-hmm.
different shades of the same color. I don't want
The,
it to be like I don't want it to be like the bright, mandala or something like that, where it's got rainbow colors and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
I like the Lion Brand cupcake, but not for this particular shawl that I'm wanting to make. Cause see how these colors are
Yeah.
there's too many different colors. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to sort of. I wish I could find an example of what I'm talking about, but just a shawl that just kind of fades, from gray to black. I think that would be nice. Okay, see, here's somebody who's done it in
Oh, the ombre.
the Red Hearts ombre,
I like it. I think
and
that was good.
I think I think this might look good with the outfits that I normally wear
Mm-hmm.
for the cruise. Although I wish this had
More
a
black.
yeah, more black and a little less of this gray.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a color. I think there's a shawl in the ball color that has more of the black and less of the gray in it. So I might go with that if I can find it. Let's see. Let's see, but they use the bright colors of shawl in the ball. But so that's enough for Rivalry Corner because I'm just browsing now at this point. So so do you have anything that we're gonna wrap this up because we've been at it just about an hour.
All
So
right.
do you have anything that you are planning to work on upcoming?
I want to have a few of those 3 packs of scrunchies made up. Um, I want to, if I order those mother bleeping hooks, then I want to have some barefoot sandals made up. I
Mm-hmm.
need to order that as soon as we hang up here. I need to order those, and then before we even start the next video, I need to order those. Let's see,
Yeah, you need to
three
turn on
packs
your
of
lights
scrunchies.
for the next video too, because it's getting dark on your side.
Yeah, the sun setting. I see. But let's see, 3 packs of scrunchies, barefoot sandals with the hooks that I definitely need to order. And I think, there's a dream catcher that I need to finish that has been sitting in my house. So I'm hoping that I've got some little quartz points that I need to turn into stars. So hopefully I have at least that part done. Maybe not the whole dream catcher finished, but at least that part done. And then I can maybe get your opinion about what ribbons or whatever I should hang from the bottom of the dream catcher. But that, and I feel like there was one other thing. No, that's about it. That's all I can think of. Scrunchies,
Okay,
barefoot sandals, dream catcher.
Are you gonna write those goals down?
That is a good idea. Look at you with the smarts.
What else?
I got my planner right here.
Good for you. Okay, so let's see. I don't know what my goals are going to be for next week. For this next week. Let's write some things down. 3 goals. Okay, I guess I'm going to. Oh well, I know this next week the new square for the unraveled mitten is coming out. So
Okay.
I'll definitely be working on the unraveled mitten square. Okay. And I am going to I'm going to work on the t-shirt. This one.
All right.
I'm gonna work on this. Try to get a few more because I really am close. I've got like 3 inches to do before I have to do the bottom border and then switch to the sleeve. So I'm really close.
You've been saying for the last 3 weeks, I'm so close. I've only got this many inches. So close. I've only got this many inches.
Because before when I said I was close, I had 5 inches. And then when I said it last time, I had 4 inches. And now I got about 3 inches.
So you're doing about an inch a week.
Roughly.
So your goal is to get another inch done.
So get another inch. Okay, I'll write that down. Get another inch. Okay, get another inch on the t-shirt. And I guess my goal number 3, since I did actually pay a whole $4.99 for the pattern, is to actually make some progress on this. Okay. Because my goals, my overarching goal is to work on at least one of my 5 major whips, which we've discussed what my 5 major whips are, right?
I believe we have, but go over them again just in case.
My 5 major whips are Avatar blanket for Chloe, for C2, Avatar blanket for C1, sports blanket for Miss Haley, Black Panther blanket for Isaac.
Right.
That one technically is not started, and that one is a switch out really because I bought the pattern for the
Deadpool,
and then the creator of that pattern just made a Black Panther one, and and so I'm gonna buy that one because when I showed it to him, he said he'd rather have the Black Panther one. He said that right off. So Black Panther blanket, but I haven't even started it. I haven't even bought pattern. So that's kind of low on the list of 5.
Yeah.
On the list of 5. And it's really a list of 4 because the number 5 is those socks for you, which I may have decided to abandon. I can't make up my mind. Don't be giving me the eyeball.
Rude.
Don't be giving me the eyeball.
We were just talking earlier about how I'm going to make you some earrings for the cruise, and you abandoned my socks.
Whatever.
Rude.
No, to be fair, I might start your socks over because I've been thinking about crocheting the socks instead of knitting them, and I'm wondering if I want to do that or not. Because I've always said that crocheted socks look like they would be bumpy on your feet.
It's just yarn. It shouldn't be that bumpy.
They just look like they feel bumpy.
You mean how the cowl looks like it would stretch your neck?
Yes.
They don't actually do these things. It's just yarn.
But you know, when you crochet, the fabric of crochet fabric is not smooth like knitted fabric.
Yes, but if you're wearing them, if you're wearing them on your feet, the weight of you stepping on them is going to squish it because it is, once again, just yarn. It can't be that bumpy.
We'll see.
If it was that bad, people wouldn't continue to crochet socks.
Because it is taking me so long to it used to not take me long to knit a pair of socks, but lately it's another one of those projects where I don't pick it up because it feels like it takes forever to make any progress. But I have come far enough on those socks that it feels like it's the whole macroeconomic sunk cost thing. You don't know if you want to. Why are you laughing?
Continue.
That's the only thing I learned from that macroeconomics course was sunk cost. It's the only thing that stuck in my brain was sunk cost, and the other, what was the other one? I can't remember what the term was for it, but it basically means that when you decide you are not going to pay your share of something, that just means that you're putting extra weight on other people.
Yeah.
That learning that in that economics class has made it easier for me to buy patterns or go ahead and pay for video games that I want instead of only looking for free video games.
Yeah.
You know, in other words, not always just looking for the free thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that economics course taught me how it affects the economy
Mm-hmm.
when somebody's always looking for the free thing. So, but that sounds like a discussion for other than stitching.
Yeah.
So we are going to wrap this up. I have my 3 goals, and what I was saying was my overarching goal is to work on at least one project from my big 5 WIPs each week, and work on some of these other projects that, because like the AKA scarf is a new project that I just decided on. The waffle square blanket is a new project that I just decided on. And so I'm excited about that, but I also need to get some of these other ones finished because they're weighing on me.
Yeah.
They're making me feel guilty about, like, I'm really enjoying making this waffle square one. That's my favorite one right now. And I could just stitch and stitch on that until my wrist is screaming in pain because I enjoy working on that one so much. But then I feel guilty that I'm not working on these other projects.
Yeah.
Which is a thing that I need to let go because this is supposed to be a fun thing, but whatever. Okay. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in to listen to us ramble for 88 minutes. Um, we should be back here next week, roughly around 4:45.
As long as there's not another wasp in my room.
As long as there's not another wasp in her room. And you can check out our Instagram, which is linked in the show notes in the doobly doo, because that is where, at least I can't speak for my daughter, but that is where I post pictures of stuff during the week if I think of crafty things that I want to show off during the week, because
I'm doing a lot better. Actually, I've posted every day for the past 2 weeks, I think. I'm doing so much better.
Well, good for you. I'm so happy for you. She is doing better. She is posting more stuff, but it's not.
I used to be really bad.
It's not usually yarny stuff on hers. It's usually more henna stuff and jewelry stuff. But if you're into that, check it out. Both of the Instagrams are linked in the bottom. For anybody who is watching us in the live stream, as we did last week, we are going to stop this live stream, upload this video, go take a break to get something to drink, go to the bathroom. I need to get some food.
I need some ibuprofen.
And we should be back here in roughly around, it's 6:15 Eastern time right now, so we should be back here roughly at 6:45. Okay, Eastern time. So, well, thank you, Tracy. Tracy said that she said have a good night and she looks forward to next week live. Well, thank you very much, Tracy.
Awesome.
Enjoyed our rambling.
Yeah, you have a good night too.
And like I said, in roughly 30 minutes, we'll be back here with another live stream. If you're watching this live, we'll be back here for another live stream where we talk about knot stitching. Or
everything but
stitching. Or some stitching plus other stuff. But we're not showing off yarn. So if you definitely want to hang out and listen to us ramble about something not just yarn, then come back for other than stitching. Okay? Bye.
Bye.